you.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. This morning we have a special presentation by Jeff, who is one of our more advanced speakers. Today he's working on his Advanced Communicator Bronze. He will be working from the Advanced Communication Storytelling Manual, project number 2, which is the folk tale. That should be exciting. His project is 7 to 9 minutes, but he wants the time at the standard 5, 6, and 7 minutes. Jeff, if any of us know him, I'm sure some of us know him well and have seen some of his other presentations, is an astronomy buff, astronomy avid person, favorite interest. Today he will be telling us a story that weaves together the story of his favorite constellation, the one called Cygnus. In other countries, the stories have different meanings, so it's inclusive for all of us, for those who want to go with our theme today, Groundhog's Day, or our theme, not necessarily for Toastmasters, but for next week, Valentine's Day. It's a love story. The speech title is The Story of Kyonu and Jingnyo. So please help me welcome Jeff Chilson.
If you follow the path of the rising sun, you'll eventually come to an ancient land along the great sea of the east. There people have lived for generation after generation, long before time was even known. In that place, the land and the water meet, great green mountains rise into the mist. And long ago, they formed the doorway to the celestial kingdom. In those days, there was a young man named Kyonu. He grew up working on his family's farm. His job was to raise the cattle, and that job made him strong, very determined. But he had a gentle heart. And because he cared so well for his animals, he raised the strongest and fittest beasts in all the land. Not far away was a lovely young woman named Jingnyo. She had beauty that was delicate like an orchid. Ever since she was young, she had a remarkable ability to weave and spin cloth. Her eye for color, her ability to weave complex patterns, and the fingers that could manage the finest of threads made her cloth beautiful and durable. It was cherished throughout the entire kingdom. Now one day, Jingnyo went out for a walk in the forest. This was her habit. She would look at the trees and at the flowers. She would watch the birds and the butterflies, looking for new colors, new ways that she could incorporate those ideas of nature into her cloth. But on this day, as she walked beside a cool stream, she saw, just in the distance, Kyonu watching over his cattle as they took a gentle drink from the stream. Instantly, the two fell in love. From that day forward, the two longed for that time when they could be together. They would often meet in the forest and talk and walk. They longed so much just for that time and spending it just in each other's company. Now, while the two lovers were on retreat, things in the rest of the kingdom soon became desperate. Kyonu was neglecting his cattle. They soon grew sick, and they were weak. And with no strong beasts to plow the fields were all barren. There was no crops. People had no food and became hungry. Jingnyo, her loom was empty. She wasn't spinning any more cloth. The people, their clothes soon became thin, and they had to cobble together what sort of cloth they could find to patch them together. Now the king of the celestial realm came down to find out what was going wrong in his world. When he found out that the source of the trouble was Kyonu and Jingnyo, he was angry at them for their idleness. And so he sent Kyonu to the end of the east, and Jingnyo he sent to the end of the west. And between the two, the great celestial river flowed, so the two could never come back together again. But to make their punishment more bearable, he gave them one day. On the 7th day of the 7th moon month, the two would be allowed to come back together again. So Kyonu went to his home, Jingnyo went to her home, and there they returned to their work, sad to be apart, but longing for the day when they would be back together. Peace came back to the kingdom. Finally, that day came, the 7th day of the 7th moon month. The two lovers rushed to the edge of the celestial river, but when they got there, the rivers were wide. The water was deep. The two looked around in desperation, trying to find a boat, a bridge, anything that they could cross. There was nothing. The two lovers stood, seemingly miles apart, standing there, and tears fell from their eyes, and there became great storms that fell upon the earth. The flood waters began to rise, and the world became desperate. And in that moment, it was the magpies and crows that flew into the air in great flocks without number. They all huddled together, beaks and wings and feathers all crouched together, and they formed a great bridge over the celestial river. And Kyonu and Jingnyo were able to cross over atop them and meet once again. After their day had come, and it was time for them to go, they left, refreshed but still sad. Tears now fell from the two lovers' eyes, but they were gentle rains that nourished the land and once again made it fruitful. Ever since that time, on the 7th day of the 7th moon month, it always rains. And in the same season, the magpies and the crows, they lose their head feathers, for the two lovers have been standing upon them. And so, as you are out, perhaps looking forward to warmer days in the summer, and you're standing under the starry skies, you will look up and you will see the brilliant star of Kyonu and the beautiful star of Jingnyo. And there between the two, the great celestial river flows between them, the Milky Way. And just above is the constellation of the Crow, hovering over the celestial river, waiting for the 7th day of the 7th moon month to bring the lovers back together again. Mr. Chilson.
Mas Dios me hizo saber. Good.